All right, hello friends, my name is Annalise. If you haven't met me, I'm the president of the Women in Computing Club on campus. And today we'll be doing basically the meeting that we had planned for March 18th that we can no longer do in person. So this is the Discord bot tutorial on how to make your own. So we're going to start off by going to sys.gvcu.edu/tilde-wic/resources.html. This is where our files are going to be located. And you do have to type in the full thing because you can't access this particular page from the navigation bar. All right, so once we're here, Discord bot, so here's all the files we'll be using. So first, let's pull up instructions. This is a bit lengthy, but I added a lot of extra instructions. Just because we can't do this face-to-face, I want to make sure everything was very clear. And so initially, there's two quick things. If you don't already have Node.js installed, you're going to need to download that. I'd recommend the 12.16.1. I don't think there's a huge difference, but I believe that's the one I have. And if you don't already have a Discord account, you're going to need one to do this. So if you follow this link, that'll take you to where you can create your own account. Now, I've already done both of those things, so I'm going to skip that part, but just make sure that you do the initial setup before you continue. All right, so first we're going to create our bot. So this link right here will take us to the Discord developer portal. All right, so you're going to have to log in with either the account that you just created or the one that you already have. All right, and you'll notice first off, I've made a couple bots in the past, so they'll appear here. We're actually going to create a new application for today though. And I'm going to call it WicBot. In the instructions, that's how I refer to it. You can call it whatever you want, just make sure that if I reference WicBot in the instructions that you fill in the correct name that you've chosen. All right, so WicBot has been created. Here's the client ID, and we're gonna go to bot. We're gonna add bot. Yes, let's do it. All right, WildBot has appeared. So here's our bot. Again, it should have the username, so this is fine. Token, I'm not going to click to reveal right now, but that's something we're going to be using shortly. So just to kind of go through what we just did, we created a new application, we gave it a name, we added the bot, and we've seen where the client ID and the token are. All right, so now we're going to want to send the bot to a server. So underneath OAuth 2, we're going to scroll down a little bit. So it should say scopes, and we're going to click bot. Basically what this does is it sets the permission for this bot, telling it what it can and cannot do. So once we click bot, it's going to generate basically a URL with the permission set. So we're going to copy that, paste in a new window, and you'll notice this long number here, that's actually a client ID. If you go underneath general information, it's that mine is a 689 number. Discord used to make you fill it in manually, but they've changed apparently. So you won't have to use the client ID for this step of the process, but if for some reason Discord requests one later, or you need to know where it is, just remember it's underneath general information and client ID. All right, so let's hit enter. All right, so now it's asking us which server we want to connect it to. For this project, let's actually make a new server. We can each make our own because the issue is if there's other people on the server, then what may happen is a lot of other people get annoying notifications while you're testing out your bot. So everyone should just make their own. So if you see this little green plus sign, add a server, let's do it. Create server. All right, I'm actually just going to call it WicBot test server. Create. This is also a good just kind of practice to do, at least for now, because in order for you to add a bot, you have to be an admin of whichever server you're doing. So creating your own is just an easy way to make sure that you're an admin. All right, let's refresh this page, and our new server should show up. All right, so mine's at the bottom of the list, WicBot test server. Authorize, and we should have to do some reCAPTCHA in a second. All right, perfect. All right, so let's fill this out real quick. Got poor eyesight. All right. All right, so now our bot has access to the server that we've just created. I'm going to X out of this tab. We're still going to need the developer portal though, so leave that up. All right, so we've sent the bot to the server. Now we have to set up our directory. So on your desktop, let's create a new folder. So actually this is, I was practicing. Okay, so let's create a new folder. I refer to it just as Discord, but again, you can use whatever name you want so long as you reference it that way for the rest of this project. All right, so in here, create a new folder with the name of your bot. Mine's WickBot, so I will call it as such. And then a folder within that called commands. All right, so again, on the desktop is where I created it because it's easy to access from the command line. Create a folder called, I've called it Discord. Then within that is the name of your bot, which is WickBot for me, and then commands. So you should have 3 nested folders right now. And let's go back to the bot folder. All right, so we have a couple files that we want to put in there. So bot.js, config.json, and package.json are all going to go into the WickBot folder. Let's do save link as. Find wherever you saved it. If you saved it somewhere that's not the desktop and not this folder, then make sure that you're accessing the correct location. Just going to download these 3 really quickly. All right, and this last one, ping.js, we're still going to save it, but we're actually going to put it in the commands folder. And this extra examples, this is just like a text file. You guys don't have to download that, but if you get bored with the examples that I provided in the instruction manual, feel free to explore more with those. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, within the Discord, we should have the folder called WickBot. Here we should have bot.js, config.json, and package.json, and then within commands, ping.js. All right, so if we're following along, that should complete basically the setting up your directory part. We are going to want to open up those in text editor. I like to use Atom, but you can use whatever you want. Right, so I'm going to open a project. Oops, sorry. Let me go back. Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to want to open these 3 files for now. All right. And where should we start? All right, let's start with package.json. So this one is mostly just descriptive purpose. So I'm just going to fill in a little bit of this information. Make sure that you've got version 1.0.0, and you should all if you download the correct file. Description doesn't really matter too much. I'm just going to call it WickBot again, or how about Wick test? I don't know. My name is Annalise, so I'll fill that in. Doesn't matter too much here. You can note though that dependencies is currently empty. That will be changed shortly, but don't edit it for now. All right, moving on to config.json. So this part says prefix. Essentially, this is what tells the bot to listen for a command. So you could change that to anything. But like, let's say I have a command, we have a command that we're going to work with called ping. For my bot to know that it's being kind of like requested, someone has to enter the prefix, which is !ping. So if you change it to, for instance, question mark, then if someone wants to run the command ping, they'd have to put question mark ping. I'm just going to leave it as an exclamation point because that's how I've seen it most places. All right, and now token. So to get this token, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but if we're in the developer portal, underneath bot, see where it says click to reveal token. And by the way, this is highly confidential. I'm going to delete the spot after I've created it because my token will have been exposed. But for instance, even if you upload your code for a bot onto GitHub, as I've done before, they've sent me an error because my token was revealed and it forcefully regenerated a new one. So you can reveal your token, make sure you have it copied, and just make sure it's something that you don't share with people because it is supposed to be confidential. And then once you have that, you'll paste it in there. It's supposed to look long, ugly, and gross, and that means you're doing the right thing. All right, so those are the 2 JSON files. So right now, where are we at in the instructions? All right. All good. Moving on to bot.js. So bot.js is essentially kind of like your main. Notice that it does, so here is where it reads in the prefix and the token that we just established in the config file. And let's say for some reason you didn't want to call it config.json. I think that's fine, but just make sure that you change the name here as well, or else it will not grab that information. We're also going to need discord.js, which we'll install in just a bit. And I basically have this set up already for you guys to read in commands from this commands folder over here, which is one of the subdirectories we created. So you don't have to worry about that. It's all working as it should. But if you have questions on why things are the way they are, let me know and I will respond to you directly. All right, so in order for this all to work, we have to create several dependencies. Earlier, I mentioned when we were in the config file, the package file, there's no dependencies. Well, now is when we're going to change that. So we're going to have to open up a command prompt or a terminal of some sort. All right, just so you guys can still see the instructions. So you're going to want to change directories so that your bots folder is in the path. So I'm going to go to desktop, Discord, Wickbot. Again, if you saved it somewhere else, that's fine. Just make sure you're getting to the right location. All right, so first we're going to install discord.js with the command npm install discord.js. So usually it takes a minute or two. All right, perfect. You'll get some of these like little warnings or something, but as long as it found 0 vulnerabilities, you should be fine. And then we're going to do the next command, which is npm install discord.io Winston /save. And then just make sure everything's lowercase as well. There were a few recent changes, and that was one of them. And then after this one finishes, we'll have one more that we're going to have to install. It's this last command. All right, so that one looks good. So we're going to do npm install, and then it's going to be getting something from GitHub. So https github.com/war/discord.io/tarball /gateway and then _v6. All right, so we've installed everything we need to. So now you'll notice that we've got 3 things in our dependencies: discord.io, discord.js, and Winston. That's all we truly need. You can install more stuff, but not necessary. This should do us just fine. So I'm just going to minimize this for a second. So we've completed everything through creating dependencies so far. Now we're on the testing phase. So we are going to go still with Wickbot in the path, or again, whatever your bot's called, node bot.js. So we're calling main essentially. And if all works, it should reply with ready. What this means is that if you go to your Discord server, your bot should now appear as online. And just to test it out, ping is one of the commands that I've already entered, and it replied with pong. Now take the bot back offline. Now that we know it's working, we're going to do Control-C, and that should be fine. All right, so again, ping worked out just fine. The message was sent with pong, which is correct. And there's a few classes. I have linked you guys to the API further in the instructions if you want to explore some more, but there's 3 big classes you need to know. So message is an object, or I guess not classes really, but message is a big object that's important. Channel is a property of the message object, and this refers to whatever channel the message was sent in. So for instance, in this Discord, my message here is the object, and the channel property would be general. And send, it's an action, it just sends a reply. So for instance, when we say message.channel.send, we're saying, so the message object that we've just received, whatever channel that was sent in, we want to send a message, and then whatever's enclosed within those parentheses. All right. The rest of this tutorial is about you altering the command that we've already got in here, making your own commands, trying out some other things. I'm going to leave you guys to experiment around with that. And I mentioned a few other important classes later here. We've already talked about message. There's also the user class and also the guild class. Guild is synonymous with server. So definitely have fun creating your own commands. Check out the code and see if you can figure out what it's doing. And if you need a little bit of extra push, a few helpful links. Creating a bot. This is essentially just an article covering the tutorial I just went through. Just getting your bot online and running. Here's a few before you begin starters, and then Discord .js API, which is extremely helpful if you want to do some more intricate stuff. All right, friends, best of luck. Have a great time.